Okay, so let's take a look at some of the themes we're going to go over in American literature. Dr. Eric Foner has a very comprehensive on American freedom here, and former President Barack Obama, Dreams of My Father. We got some themes there. This is Dr. Eric Foner again with the Reconstruction. Very, very informative. To Kill a Mockingbird shows the tone of the Jim Crow South, and Gregory Peck coming out and being um, formerly from Methodist type of family background. His character is coming out and trying to defend this man, as we see in the movie. But there's some very good themes here. And then you have Dr. Colson Whitehead, who did The Underground Railroad. There's a series on Amazon Prime, and it's a powerful, powerful movie and novel. And then you have Many Thousands Gone, and this is just something I want to take you over with when I was working on my master's. This is something from which I read. Okay, so since Juneteenth is coming up, these are the first two I'm going to start with, and we're just going to contrast and compare. And so I just kind of wanted to make sure we copyright that, since this is copywritten material, sorry, that we give credit to everyone. And here are some of the actors in the movies. Underground Railroad, as I said, is Amazon Prime. So when we talk about themes within the movies, I'm reading from the book, but I'm going to make references to the movies. So let me get that straight. We're going to talk about agency, cruelty and discrimination, irony and paradoxes, and politics of the southern United States. Although slavery was pretty much, they say North versus South. There are some problems that if you watch this over here in the Underground Railroad, that people who are trying to run away run into, even when they cross territories. Still the Fugitive Slave Act, and even without the Fugitive Slave Act, there were slave catchers who didn't obey those rules and would put freed blacks into slavery. Okay, so then you have, we're also going to go over third-person narrative to kill, first-person narrative to kill a mockingbird, how this little girl is telling a story from her side, but also telling everybody else's version of and the response is made and what happens to her, and how her father is basically persecuted too for trying to stand up for an innocent man. Then you have the Underground Railroad, where narrator's omniscient, and the narrator author omniscient is really what it is. Dr. Whitehead's telling the story, and he just comes right in and starts telling the story as the way it occurred. So when we look at this, the ability for a person of color to advocate for himself or herself, okay, agency was really hard for them, and especially at certain times, cruelty and discrimination. Irony and paradoxes, I'll get into. And one of the ironies and one of the paradoxes here that I want to get into is the fact that the very women who were Southern and chaste and they were trying to help actually jumped in and tried to help oppressed persons. And in To Kill a Mockingbird, women couldn't sit on juries. So there you have that gender situation going back historically. And many women in the book did not agree with Tom Robinson's treatment during the trial, and they went after the trial, they would sit with each other, go to someone's house, and they were eating certain foods and drinking tea and trying to figure out how they could help Tom Robinson, who incidentally is the African American male who's accused of raping a woman. So when you talk about that, you want to talk about politics of the southern United States, southern attitudes, southern mores, and southern culture, run by exclusively a class of people. And here's another paradox. A poor farmer wants revenge for his daughter's alleged rape, although the system was set up by rich plantation owners originally, and rich people throughout are judges, and even Gregory Peck's character, Atticus Finch, is mildly wealthy, somewhat affluent, and he comes to the rescue of a system that he thinks is wrong. So he'd kind of be like a modern day type of abolitionist, and he's kind of like this is wrong, and he stands up. And then when you deal with in the Underground Railroad, two slaves are hunted for escaping the Randall's plantation, um, and for unintentionally, sorry, murdering a slave catcher. You can see Amazon Prime and see what happened there. That the female there didn't intend to murder, but accidentally did. So we'll start there with those themes, and that these are some themes that if you're working with things for a paper, you can look at, and you can go over and think about topics for your papers. And then in the next video, we'll get into these themes and how to start writing them.